Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the Landscape Futures Analysis tool. It's just to be a short video just to give you a bit of an overview of how it looks and how it works. So the first thing, when you go to the Landscape Futures Analysis tool, or lfat.org.au, you'll be greeted by the login page. So if you haven't already done it, just go and register for an account, and then you'll be provided with details to log in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in here. First thing you'll be greeted with is a map of Australia showing all the natural resource management regions. There's also a few other things. Over here you've got a tools palette. It has some typical geospatial type tools, and there's also, close that for the moment, there's also an info button which will open up a user guide, so if you ever want to look at some of the information, just click that button and that will take you to a separate PDF. Okay, so there's also your zoom in and zoom out, which you can also do via the mouse. So I'll start off with the select a region. At the moment we've only got two regions in there, the Eyre Peninsula and the South Australian Murray-Darling Basin, but there will be more added soon. But just for the purposes of this, I'll go through the Eyre Peninsula. Okay, so the tool zooms into the region that you've selected and also opens this display palette. Now you'll see from the display palette there's a few things on here. There's info buttons, so anything that you see on the display palette, you can just click the info button and it'll give you a separate dialog box that'll come up and tell you what the different scenarios are. For example, with the climate, it'll go over the climate scenarios. S0 is the baseline climate, and go through changes right up to S3, which will be what's currently considered severe climate change with a 4-degree warming and a 25% drying. And that also goes for things like carbon price and agricultural price and costs. There's also the ability to create new cases. So if you're working on a case, you can create new cases like this, and this will allow you to have different settings for different cases. So you can have all these a bit different for this. Let's delete this one. And then as you switch between cases, you'll be able to switch between a whole lot of different settings rather than having to adjust the settings as you go. So there's also the typical kind of displays that you might see, things like towns, roads, and to show a layer, you simply click on it and it will go from italics to standard. So as you can see all the usual suspects of satellite imagery, towns, roads, that sort of thing. So then you come up to the select the planning module, and you'll see there's a few modules to choose from: agricultural management, carbon sequestration, biodiversity conservation, weed risk, and then advanced systems, all modules up. Just to start off with, we'll start with the agricultural management. At the moment this is probably the most basic module. There are a few layers that are yet to be added, but for the moment we've got a few simple ones: agricultural productivity, agricultural value, mean annual temperature, and total annual rainfall. And so any of these can be brought up just by clicking the display or clicking the layer. And let's open up case 1. Also allows you to, and you can see as you move this around, it'll show you the total predicted rainfall under different climate scenarios. So as it gets warmer and drier, you'll see a lot less rainfall. And so these don't come into play at the moment, but if I go to agricultural value, again you can change the climate scenario. So the change is quite subtle, but you can also do things like see what's happening if the price doubles, and see that by opening up that, and I'll tell you what the different things are, and then you can see a legend just by clicking that, and it'll tell you what the colours respond to. So if you have everything doubling, then if suddenly the prices plummet, you can then see it's suddenly a lot less, making a lot less money. So also another button here, this will give you the region statistics. So just by clicking on that, you can then see what scenarios you've selected, and a whole lot of statistics for the area. Things like the mean and minimum maximum values, and these are for the annual returns and for the net present value, and you can change what you're looking at just by clicking that button. Now you'll be looking at the annual returns, and now you'll be looking at the total net present value over 64 years. It just allows you to look at a few different options. And once you're finished with this module, you can go to other modules. There's a few of the other modules have some modelling capabilities within them, things like carbon sequestration. But we'll go over that in another video. Alright, well that's been a bit of just a quick walkthrough through the Landscape Futures Analysis tool. We'll put up some more videos to show some of the other modules in a bit more detail. And as I said before, anytime you need to look at things in a bit more detail, if you're a bit lost, the info will take you straight to the user guide, which is pretty comprehensive and gives you a pretty good overview of the tool. Alright then, well, I'll leave you there, but thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.